Ladies and gentlemen, from the O2 Arena, London, let's get this party started!
I smash people. I'm a smashing machine.
Well, I've done it! I am world champion!
And captivating fighter, Toní Bellью. Liverpool born, bred and so proud. A man who has done this his way. And what a roller coaster career, which has provided us with everything. Thrilling excitement, unpredictability, volatility, the works. He stands as the WBC Cruiserweight King. He's had his dream night at Goodison Park. Can he make a mockery of the pre-fight odds and find a way to come through the heaviest of assignments?
Well, he's got a tough task in front of him with Haye. Haye's also a former cruiserweight, but he's campaigned the heavyweight for a lot longer, so he's going into the weight a bit better. The one thing I'm going to look for in Toní Bellew tonight is how does he carry the extra weight at heavyweight? Does he look a little soft? Is it going to slow down his feet? Is it going to slow down is it going to fatigue him as the rounds progress because he's carrying around the extra weight? He's not using this weight as much as Haye is, so that's going to be my curiosity if he can get that far in the fight.
And now making his entrance to the ring, the two-time world champion, Девід Hey.
Good, right hand left hook. Slip left hook, just like that. Again. Again. Slip left hook, right hand.
If he comes out and tries to fight me, he's getting knocked out in a matter of seconds.
Get out! Simon said he could get out!
Don't get too comfortable in your seat. I end the fight when I want to end the fight.
Doesn't look like he's got a care in the world, does he, Toní Bellew? Extraordinary.
I think he's just relaxing, trying to enjoy himself, trying to maybe take his mind off any anticipation that he's feeling, and try and focus on anything other than what's ahead of him. But when the bell goes, he's going to need to really, really concentrate.
The waiting game from Dévid Haye.
Well, I agree with Carl. I think he's trying to take his mind off. But one of the things you can get yourself lost in is when your opponent's walking to the ring and you're still in the ring. And sometimes, you know, you can get to overthinking. So I think this is Toní Bellew just trying to keep relaxed, dancing to David's music, trying to show the crowd that he's relaxed for the big moment.
It's been such a compelling build-up. It's called the imagination of sporting fans way beyond the regular fight trade. Two of the biggest personalities in boxing about to collide. And Toní Bellew is lapping this up in the ring. He's loving it.
He's trying to show us he's a bit nimble at the bigger weight as well.
But look on the big screen. He's on his way. Cool, calm, ripped and ready. The sporting enigma that is Dévid Haye. He's long brought genuine electricity and a high-octane fuel to the boxing world. An outstanding amateur whose early knockouts and even that derailing loss to Carl Thompson led to a fabulous win in Paris for the World Cruiserweight title. Cemented with a victory over Enzo Macronelli here. 8 years a heavyweight. Seen him capture the WBA crown. He looked the new force, but the damp squib against Vladimir Klitschko, shoulder nightmares, even a retirement, has led to inactivity and uncertainty. 2 facile wins last year, Carl. He's 36. He promises a devastating performance, and he says this is the new coming.
Well, this is what I'm expecting, an early onslaught from Dévid Haye, and it's how Toní Bellew copes with that early onslaught, if indeed it does come. But Dévid Haye really does mean business. He's angry. He's also annoyed, and in his mind he's got something to prove.
This is a slow ring walk for Dévid Haye. It's a stalking, menacing one. Is he going to go for it early? Is this a demolition job?
I think he wants to make a point and try to get Tony out early. And the thing about Tony is this, if you don't get him out early, he's got the character to take you into the mud. So we'll see. I think David wants to make an explosive performance.
I think the way he's been speaking on the build-up as well, and the fact that, you know, moving forward, he wants to step into the heavyweight division and try and dominate that. He needs to be dismissive of Toní Bellew, but he's got to back it up in here tonight, so the pressure's on Dévid Haye.
Yes. If he makes a big statement tonight against Bellew, I think that he can open the eyes of the major players in the heavyweight division. This is a menacing ring walk.
Loves this stage. Celebrities everywhere. Toní Bellew is watching every second of this. Reminds me a little bit of Naz and Kelly in the garden. Remember that build-up, Paulie?
A little bit of posturing for the cameras, a little bit of posturing against each other. Hey, ever the showman, Bellew all business. Kind of like Naz and Kelly.
Not even looking at him, Dévid Haye. Toní Bellew cannot wait. A cacophony of noise, a nation that expects. This is how they line up. Both in their mid-30s. Nothing in the height department, 4 inches in reach to Dévid Haye, but a naturally much bigger man. Despite the fact they're roughly cruiserweights. For a while, Dévid Haye has been a full heavyweight. 16 stone, big difference. It was his second heaviest weight. Bellew's heaviest, of course. 200 rounds for Bellew. That's mainly because of the knockout percentage of Dévid Haye. It's phenomenal. and 6-1 on a huge favourite, David Hey. Bellew 4-1 against. Hardly anyone thinks it will go the distance. A draw 33-1. You just cannot picture it. But then you cannot predict what's going to happen or how it's going to happen, which is the beauty of our game.
I can't see this fight going the distance, Paulie. I really can't. I don't think this fight can go 12 rounds and end on points.
I agree with you, Carl. I think either Haye gets him out early or Tony takes David through the mud so much that maybe David doesn't want to be there. So we'll see. We'll find out. It's one or the other. I think the longer it goes, it favors Bellew. But does Bellew carrying the extra weight hurt him as well? That's what I'm curious about too.
We can't wait. Here's Michael.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the O2 Arena, London, this is the main event of the evening. 12 rounds of boxing in the heavyweight division. And it's all seen live on Sky Sports Box Office and to the USA on AWE. Brought to you by Eddie Hearn for Matchroom Boxing in association with Haymaker Promotions and Ringstar Sports. Sponsored by BetSafe, Voltarol, and JD Sports. And sanctioned by the British Boxing Board of Control President and steward in charge tonight, Charles Giles. At ringside, the three judges scoring this contest: Victor Laughlin, Michael Alexander, and Bob Williams. And inside the ring, your referee in charge of the action, Phil Edwards. And now, the officials are ready. The fighters are in the ring and they are ready. Boxing fans, are you ready? For the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world, ladies and gentlemen, from the sold-out O2 Arena, London, let's get ready to rumble! Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner with his trainer David Caldwell. He's wearing blue, official weight 15 stone, 3 pounds, 8 ounces. In 31 professional fights, he has 28 victories, including 18 wins by knockout, with only 2 defeats and 1 draw. From Liverpool, he is the reigning WBC Cruiserweight Champion of the World, Toní Bellew. And across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner, standing with his trainer Shane McGuigan, wearing black, trimmed with orange, officially weighing in at 16 stone, 9 ounces. In 30 professional fights, 28 victories with 20 wins by knockout, only 2 defeats. He's the former Cruiserweight World Champion and former WBA Heavyweight Champion of the World. From London, England, David Haymaker
Weeks and weeks of unprecedented build-up.
Gentlemen, you've had your instructions in the dressing room. You know what I expect of you. Follow my instructions at all times. Keep it clean. And remember, defend yourselves at all times. Just them up.
Vicious verbals, the tensest of face-offs, even the odd stray punch and the unacceptable comment. Now the wall of noise comes from the crowd as these two rely on their fighting fists and ring craft towards glory and massive bragging rights. David Hey says it will be a demolition. Toní Bellew feels the Haymaker quits. 18 wins in 3 rounds for Haye. 18 knockouts for Toní Bellew. Power aplenty. It has to be explosive.
I feel like I'm going to explode out of it. I'm so tense, I'm on the edge of my seat, just anticipating what's going to happen. Toní Bellew just needs to Looks like they're going to go for it early on, straight away.
Bellew with the left hand as Haye comes in.
That was a good off balance, I think. But the crowd is so ready to jump at anything.
But David Hei closed the gap there. Tony looking a bit scruffy and scuffled. They came together and Bellew landed, I'm sure, a left hook there and knocked David Hei back and gave him something to think about early on.
Left hand from Haye.
Again,
He's
good
hurt
shot.
again. Back comes Bellew. Left hand from Haye and Bellew's chin is holding up under the early onslaught. This is fascinating.
That's the thing about Haye. He throws that jab to the stomach as a bait shot, and then he tries to use it as a decoy, and then he'll come with the same left hand with a hook to the head. So we just try
to punch in there from Tony Bellew there on his back foot.
Yeah, with the right hand, yeah. And he seems like he's ready for that hook, because he's tried it a few times now, Carl.
Fast counter punch from Bellew.
Out of range with the jab there, David Hei. As he tries to take the fight right to Bellew, he's got that extra reach advantage. Remember, both fighters have been down a few times in their careers. So, what happens? Right hand from Bellew, sweet shot.
Good right hand counter there from Tony Bellew on his back foot as David comes forward. He's not going to just let him have his own way here, but he needs to concentrate constantly.
Is Haye as quick as he once was? Bellew carries the speed up from cruiserweight. Is that a factor here?
Possibly. Haye forcing his work a little bit, going in expecting to just land that shot can be dangerous. He needs to jab. I'd like to see Tony get behind that jab.
Right hand from Bellew, not phased one little bit. It's a really good start from the bomber as Haye is all wild, unwilling.
He's wild and lunging in. He's leaping in with big open hooks, leaving himself vulnerable.
Tony is reacting with the right hand every time Haye misses with the hook. He's going to get Haye to think twice about throwing that left hook. He's going to make him put it back in his pocket, so to speak.
Haye just looking clumsy and wild there with his attacks. Nothing behind the jab, just expecting to walk in range and land them big hooks. The boxing doesn't work like that.
I'm impressed with the timing of Bellew so far.
Still very early on, but it's aggressive.
Right hand from Bellew, trying the body. That's what Dave Cornwell said they do. They don't believe it is 100% the Haye physicality after the shoulder operation. Oh, big swings, and Bellew tries to get a right hand, and Haye comes back.
Dangerous looking punches from David Hei, but they're missing quite wildly. Tony Bellew needs good round from Tony Bellew.
Haye spins around. He punches his arms aloft, but Bellew, wow. That was impressive, and an opener I didn't think we'd see.
Yeah, very prepared, very solid game.
Don't get it wrong. He can't outbox you. He's too slow, right? But don't switch up. Don't get careless. You caught him with your shot and you ran off, right?
See that replay there? Bellew landed that hook. That was where the crowd got crazy. They thought he landed a big shot. It was a little bit off balance, but the tempo is set for Bellew. He's here and he means business. And I'm very impressed with the timing he's showing in the first round. I mean, every time Haye threw that left hook, Tony was ready to answer with a right hand every time. Whether it lands or not, Carl, it gets David's attention that the right hand is coming every time David misses.
Shane McGuigan now in David Hayes' corner, who was with Adam Boone for so long. They had a wonderful partnership. Haye says he's happier than ever now, training properly in the black and orange. If you need any distinguishing features between the pair, the blue, of course, of the man and Tony Bellew, fighting, he says, for his family's future. He got the dream at Goodison Park, and this, he believes, is a bonus. Right hand from Haye early in the second.
I'd like to see some jabs from Haye. Just get back to a couple of basics, you know. He's trying to, seems like he's trying to land a big power shot.
He's looking for that one thing. He's got the one thing on his mind, and that's the big punch. He thinks once he lands that shot, he's going to wipe out Tony Bellew, and that's dangerous because boxing doesn't work like that at top level. You've got to set stuff up. You've got to use your jab. You've got to throw fade. And Tony Bellew, as you were saying at the end of that last round, I've always been impressed with his counter-punching ability.
Right hand from Haye, and Bellew just shrugs it off.
He did shrug it off, but I like the fact that Haye actually set up behind the jab, and Haye's getting back to those basics. You gotta get back to your basics. Bellew's not just gonna give it to you.
I think Haye realises from that first round he can't just steamroll forward and land shots.
Again, stalking, trying to hold the centre of the ring. David D. Haye in fight number 31, the 32nd for Tony Bellew, who's been more active, who has the momentum. But everybody said this is a step too far at heavyweight. Is this just a matter of time before they open up again? Here we go.
The thing, if Haye can get that jab working and landing, maybe he can take Bellew's mind away from the hook and then surprise him with left hook. But he's got to use the jab first to use, and then that way Bellew starts thinking about the left hand coming up the middle instead of from the side.
Both fighters here looking for the big counter punch, the big hurtful counter punch. Toní Bellew sitting back on his back foot, but Девід Хей not really giving him much to counter.
Missing again, Haye. Tries to target the body. Did that hurt Bellew? The natural weight and size advantage of the heavyweight, who's always been able to punch for fun, Девід Хей.
That might be a factor, Adam, but as the fight wears on, also the fact that David's been inactive might catch up with him, so probably balance out.
There's the jab, as Paulie was saying, going back behind it. Девід Хей, terrific amateur, silver medalist in the world's always had the skills and technique, but Toní Bellью, a three-time ABA champion at heavyweight. Can you believe he was a light heavyweight for so long as a pro?
He's got that extra weight to him now, Toní Bellew, that he's not used to, so that might be quite hard to carry around. Haye just loading up there wildly, expecting to land shot.
Well, Bellew from the right hand, back and forth. Haye back to his jab. Is Bellew fancying this more and more?
Yeah, Bellew gaining confidence as the fight progresses.
Good punches there landed from both fighters. Nobody really hurt.
Already longer than most predicted. AJ is living and breathing every punch. Enjoying it?
Right? Now when you train, don't lift your head up. Raise your body up when you're training. Let it go.
Nice right hand by David, setting it up behind the jab, and he kind of went back to some of his basics. You see Bellew still gaining confidence now in the second round. Now he's starting to lead a little bit with the offense.
Jimmy Tibbs, such a great man in boxing, helping out Shane McGuigan, just loosening the arms. Dévid Hey had that shoulder surgery. He says it's absolutely perfect. Is it? Will it become a problem as the rounds tick by? The genuine consensus was it would be Haye early, or if Bellew could stick in there, would the fact that Dévid Hey hasn't had a real fight in a number of years catch up with him? Just those two easy victories over Mark Demoy and Arnold Gurjaj here at the O2. This is the comeback. He believes he's the most devastating heavyweight on the planet. Time to prove it.
You would expect the longer this fight goes to favour Toní Bellew more because of Dévid Hey's recent inactivity. The weight difference. Don't forget Toní Bellew's giving weight away here, and that will also.
And that's the thing, Carl. I agree with you. I agree with you with the rounds, and that's the only wild card going on over there. This is Tony's first fight heavyweight. How does he carry the extra weight as the rounds progress?
Yeah, weighed in at 15.38, 11 pounds heavier than usual for Toní Bellew. And Haye came in pretty heavy to us at 16. We thought he might be about 15 and a half. Built more for speed, but he's been telling us it's a devastating knockout, and it's coming early. Well, tick-tock, we're in the third round, and we're halfway through it.
And then Tony holds on to hold his ground a little bit more now.
Look at that, Haye comes in, 4-1 on to win. Money going on Toní Bellew as this unfolds. It really is absolutely fascinating at ringside.
Even the draw went down to an
Dévid Hey's got one thing on his mind here. Toní Bellew looking for the power shot, but if he could get behind his boxing a little bit more, give David something to think about as he comes in, that would help him out. But they're both trying to land that big money shot.
I got a feeling Tony's waiting to take some risks, a few more rounds. I got a feeling right now he's looking to
take this a bit later. Yes,
take David a bit later.
Just the round that Toní Bellew beat Ilunga Makabu. He got off the floor to do it. and become WBC Cruiserweight champion. As it goes for a right hand, and they go toe to toe. BJ Flores was done in 3 as well. That sparked off this fight with the antics at ringside. He's got his arse, Toní Bellew. Can he deliver?
I think he's answered the question here that he can actually take the power of David Haye. He's not going to be pushed around and bullied. So the longer this goes on, and as David Haye's tank empties, but having said that, David Haye punches hard through the whole duration of the fight, but we've not seen enough of him of late to draw judgment. This is going to tell us a lot about David Haye, but Toní Bellew here doing a fantastic job.
Yeah, David seems like he's making the fight, but again, I don't think Bellew's too committed to doing a lot early on as far as just making the fight go some rounds. If Haye misses anything particularly wild, Tony is ready to counter though, as he's shown us.
Executing their game plan. We wondered if a long tactical battle was come into it. Maybe it will.
Work it! You see that? He's looking for a cheap shot after the belt, 2 punches, because he can't hit you, right? Now when you counter, you've got to go low, right? Don't let you just, don't give him that opportunity to catch your shot that changes the fight.
You can feel the confidence oozing through the veins of Dave Cornwell here.
No. You want the one thing is when he's trying to touch it, next thing, go try and go cut. You don't want to do this, just keep touching and keep banging.
Goodness, become a big tent for Shane McGuigan. One of the best young trainers we've got. He's got Carl Frampton, George Groves, George Taylor. Got a bit of criticism in the Carl Frampton fight for not changing the tactics against Leo Santa Cruz. He might have to do something pretty big here if Haye can't get rid of Bellew, say within 6 points.
Yeah, I think a lot of this fight is going to come down to the corners, and I think they have 2 brilliant trainers in the corner, and Dave Caldwell with Bellew and Shane McGuigan with David Haye.
They certainly do. And there are 2 terrific fighters in there, but David Haye saying all through the build-up he is the elite man. I know a lot of it is to sell the product, Carl, but he really believes he's a grade or 2 above Toní Bellew. Not on this evidence yet.
The clips we've seen of him in the gym and on the bag and the pads, he looks fantastic. Aesthetically, he looks so well. He looks like an unbelievable athlete, but he is very naturally athletic anyway. But this will be the test.
Tony fighting very defensive. David's going to have to set some traps. He's not going to land the initial power shot. He's going to have to throw some shots to bait Bellew out of position and then try to follow up and get him with the follow-up shot. And I don't know if he's understanding that, but he's going to have to get that figured out if he wants to land anything.
This is a bit of a standoff at range, tit for tat with the jabs. As soon as they come together in punching range, it's a bit of a swing up. But Toní Bellew, for me, has got a slight advantage because he's blocking shots well and he's looking for that counter punch.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Tony's got keeping David's eyes open because when he does get too wild, Tony's ready with that right hand.
Big shot.
There's the one.
Tony's still from the haymaker because he realised then that he can hurt the Liverpudlian.
And why did that land? Because he was throwing jabs first. He got Tony's mind away from the left hook, using some of the jabs, and then he went back to the left hook.
Tony cannot afford to switch off for 1 second because there's big shots coming in his way.
An uppercut whistle pass, followed up with hooks. Bellew tries to come up with a right hand. Is he biding his time just for a couple more rounds, Bellew? Or does he have to hurt and dent Haye, stop him marching forward?
If I had to pick based on what I've seen from Toní Bellew in his career, I think there will be a time in this fight where he decides to go for it. Based on the character traits he's shown in his career.
Stood up there to 2 big shots from David Haye. Now he's looking to get some to go in himself. Toní Bellew left hook, right hand. But David Haye's waiting for him. And when he's in range, he's just throwing everything at Bellew power-wise. He's just unloading big, hurtful shots with one thing on his mind.
He's always wanted the knockouts. He promised a showreel one here at the O2 on March the 4th. The jab to the body from Haye.
That jab to the body, maybe it looks like it's not doing anything, but what it's doing is it's taking Bellew's mind away from the right hand. It's taking Bellew's mind away from the hook. So that when David goes back to those power shots, he may be able to surprise Bellew and catch him with them.
I thought I would have seen David Haye blow it earlier in front of Toní Bellew in terms of fitness. I thought he would have been feeling the pace more, but just looking at them, Toní Bellew seems to be breathing. Don't get me wrong, he's not blowing a gasket, but he just seems to be dropping the pace and taking deep breaths, and David Haye seems to be quite comfortable in there.
Yes, he does, taking his time, Haye.
That's the natural heavyweight, more natural heavyweight is Haye. Tony carrying a little bit more weight than he's used to.
Real intensity in this crowd. What are they thinking right at the top in the God's calling? What are they saying?
I tell you, I think they're thinking it's a bit more tactical than they thought it would be.
How are you scoring it?
I gave that round. I gave David Hey that round. I've got 2 rounds of David Hey, 1 even and 1 to Toní Bellew. Bellew is doing a good job of staying in there, but he's gonna have to go for it a little bit more to win the rounds. But I think he will, based on what I know from his character, what we've seen from him in his career. I think there's a time where he will.
Big right hand left up there by David Hey. Toní Bellew on his back foot, taking the round for David Hey there, putting David Hey 1 round ahead on my card.
We've got the same card, though.
Prince Nassim Hamad has just walked in behind us.
The best.
It's a who's who for Lee tonight. And no one knows who's going to win this. We're into the 5th round. We almost joked saying there's no way it could go long, it couldn't go the distance. But we're enjoying it.
It's a really watchable fight because it's edge of your seat stuff.
Yeah, and the power shots.
I'd like to see Tony get back behind that jab, or get behind the jab, not back behind it. Just start using the jab. Jab the shoulder, jab the stomach, get his feet in range.
You know what, you're right.
Something from Haye, then he can do his counter punching.
Carl, you're
He's
right.
so good at.
When he does use that jab, he is touching David. He's just got to be a bit more consistent with it.
Toní Bellew trying to come back with a counter right. You were alongside David Hey in Miami. He wasn't training on a yacht, was he? He was working hard in the 5th Street gym.
Some of the times on the yacht were just for the show. You know, David is one of the biggest showmen in boxing, but he knows when to get serious as well.
How did he look out there to you? Like the old Haye?
Looked very explosive, I'll tell you. Very explosive, hard punching, very fast. But the thing about Tony is he's been crafty this round, this fight so far. You have to set up that explosiveness. It's not just going to land for you.
Again, jabbing the body, Haye. That's a tactic. He's just started last couple of rounds to slow Bellew down. The extra weight.
Both fighters waiting. You're right, David Hey throwing the jab to the body, trying to draw something from Bellew. Bellew taking a couple of sloppy or silly looking jabs there. He should get his glove in front of his face for that.
You see David,
David a bit of confidence that way.
You see David starting to be more rhythmic with the jab, throwing it to the stomach, feinting with it, throwing it up top. He's trying to get Tony distracted a little bit so that he can go back to the power shots off that jab.
That's some judging of distance there from Haye. Just misses with a left hook, but it seems as though he's moving into a rhythm, just upping it ever so slightly, Haye now.
Well, when there's nothing happening and it's slow in boxing, the fighter that starts throwing a jab to the body or fakes or jab to the shoulder, he ends up getting something going, like he is now. Landing a couple of good shots there, jab to the shoulder, right hand. But Toní Bellew's standing up well to it, but this will go against him on the card.
Yeah, exactly. And everybody thinks about David Hey's power, but this is the David Hey that I've always thought about when I've known him since the amateurs. This explosive boxer. Yeah, he's got the power, but he's got the ability to do what he's doing this round. He's boxed beautifully, vary his rhythm, speed, feinting, and of course the power.
Look what he did to Nikolai Bellew. You know, winning the world heavyweight title as he connects there and tries to back Bellew up in his own corner. And swinging the bomber.
Loading up with big shots there, David. Toní Bellew getting tangled in the ropes there a little bit on his back foot. Looking to get away with that, but a couple of hurtful looking shots did slip in from Haye. Haye enjoying this himself now, smiling at Toní Bellew.
Smiling, and do you think there's respect there now? After all the antagonism in the build-up, there's a cut for Bellew just on the bridge of the nose.
So about 25 seconds ago, Bellew threw some punches with David Hey. He didn't land them, but he let David Hey know, hey, I'm still around. Don't get too careless with your offense.
David Hey backing up. Toní Bellew here has got a jab to the body, which is so effective that he can bring it up with that overhand right or straight right hand to the head. And that comes off the jab to the body because the jab to the body sets up so much for him.
Exactly, and that's the thing. It can be as a decoy. It can suck the wind out of you like a syringe, but then it can also be a decoy. You throw the right hand to the head off of it, you throw a left hook to the head off of it. It takes your mind away from the other power punches.
The heavyweight division, which is exploding into life just behind us. Anthony Joshua, he's got that enormous fight against Vladimir Klitschko on April the 29th. Joseph Parker meets Huey Fury. Deontay Wilder defended his version of the World Heavyweight crown last weekend on Sky. And now, this matchup that has got us all gripped. Toní Bellew and Девід Хей. They've knitted together perfectly the ingredients in the pot in the build-up. As the fight enters the 6th round, neither man badly hurt, neither on the floor. Power at the moment, not the main focus.
So this fight has come together well, you know. Maybe some people are surprised, but I'm a boxing purist. I like the tactical stuff that both of these guys are showing us.
Good jab from Haye there, sharp jab. He's got that reach advantage. And Toní Bellew using it well there. Good right hand from Tony.
Nice right hand. Haye tries to come back with a couple of his own. We've seen Haye outbox fighters over 12 rounds. Same with Bellew with the boring ones against Isaac Chilemba.
Loading up there heavily. David Haye.
Just slips there. David Haye. Suddenly, but down he goes. Bellew. A countering shot.
No, not
a headshot.
Something's gone with David Haye. He's knocking trouble on his knees. His knees in serious trouble.
Something's gone with his knee. There's a big problem for David Haye. He can hardly walk. And he's got to go for the knockout. Can Toní Bellew sense it? Has both swing away. Halfway through the
Let's go here.
And the body is breaking up of David Haye. And Toní Bellew trying to get the leather off. Big swinging shots. Haye knows he's in massive trouble.
David Haye breaking down here. Toní Bellew coming forward, but he's dangerous.
Very dangerous, but here comes Bellew. And left hand's wobbling. And David Haye is on the brink here. And down he goes. No knockdown, but he looks exhausted. And the injuries have come back to plague him. And we could be on the verge of one of the biggest upsets in British boxing history. David Haye is injured and he doesn't have any balance at all.
What a shame he can't stand up. This is really sad to see and dangerous. Toní Bellew assaulting big right hands and left hooks. Nothing landing clean.
Bellew right hand, left hook. David Haye trying to clean up. Down he goes. 20 seconds left in the 6th round. Can David Haye even get up? His boxing career looks to be in ruins here. David Haye just about gets to his feet. The bell's going to come any moment. And Toní Bellew with a right hand. And the bell goes. And David Haye just about makes it back. Will he be allowed to carry on or not? Shane McGuigan and the doctor are going to have a serious question to answer. Should he be allowed back?
I think this fight's over.
No talk about telling him out. What is wrong with him?
Well, I think there's something wrong with his knee, but
That's got
obviously
to be an injury. The way he's so unstable on his legs. He can barely walk.
and especially that Shane McGuigan told him to stay in the corner.
It could be an Achilles. It could be the ankle, actually.
Is it the Achilles that was troubling him? Toní Bellew enters the 2nd half of this fight, which has exploded into life.
Amazing.
At the end of the 6th round. And here comes Bellew. And David Haye can hardly defend himself. And he's going to get taken out here.
Amazing bravery from David Haye, but this is dangerous
And
stuff for him.
how much power can he even generate if he lands a shot?
Incredible bravery. We saw it when Danny Williams boxed Mark Potter all those years ago when his shoulder was out and somehow he won with one arm. These guys are fighters and they are fighting for their lives in there. And Toní Bellew is surely a few clean punches away from a dramatic career-lifting win. Haye needs to hold. He does.
Referee having a really, really close look here. 2 or 3 showing unbelievable bravery here.
Huge bravery from Haye, but is there any way back? Surely not.
Is there any way he can even be effective at this point? And he's punching back, so I don't know if the referee can actually stop it, but...
Tony's in danger of punching himself out here. Then what happens?
Yeah, that's a good point, Carl. If Tony punches himself out, the problem is David can't chase him down.
Tony Bellew suddenly looking a little tired.
But here's the thing. If Tony punches himself out, David can't go chase him.
Staying on the ropes, hoping for one power shot. Haye swinging.
David Hey can't even punch here. Sad scenes here for David Hey. And his big comeback fight, physically, looking wrecked.
Physically, an absolute nightmare for David Hey. Courageous-wise, incredible. Toní Bellew still can't finish him off. Just over a minute left in the 7th round.
David's a veteran. He's going to know how to slide and dip and juke around to survive, but I just don't know how effective he can be to win the round.
Well, it's a pride thing, isn't it? After everything he said in the build-up, he doesn't want to go in anyway. Left hooks to Bellew. Again, it looks like Haye may be running on empty.
Toní Bellew punching himself out a little bit here, loading up, looking for a big shot. I feel he just needs to get a couple of jabs going, throw some arm punches. But where does this end?
Everybody on their feet at ringside. Haye tries to get one in, Bellew with a left hook. It's a slug out, a war, and it's a war with an able fighter and one that's very badly injured.
I've never seen the likes of this, Adam. This is unbelievable. Fascinating scenes here at the O2 of this big fight. And David Hey still trying gallantly
And Carl,
to do something.
I think you're right. Tony could go back to his basics, but I think he's just trying to physically impose himself onto David, even physically and mentally.
David Hey's going to get through the round. He falls on the ropes. He can only walk back to his ring. Extraordinary again. Should they be pulling him out, or did they let him go on?
His career is on
It's
the line.
difficult. I mean, if you pull out the rule book, as long as he can defend himself and fight back, he's got to go. You mentioned Mark Potter, the dislocated shoulder. He pulled out the knockout. While he's still throwing punches and fighting back, you would not stop a fight unless the cornerman pulled it out. But this really is unprecedented and very extraordinary and fascinating to watch. Toní Bellew here, putting shots on David Hey, just loading up, almost punching at will. And then it becomes difficult for him to land because David Hey's just on the defense. He's not worried about anything coming back.
Exactly, and David's a savvy veteran. He knows how to slip and slide and roll even in place.
10 seconds. Hands up, move your head, right, and fire. Fast, not on. Fast.
Seconds out.
No one asking for speed. David Hey in a fog. The body beautiful. It's physically breaking down in front of us. But I tell you what, we've seen some mad stories throughout the heavyweight division. What happens next? Is there any way David Hey can win this fight? The odds say no. 8-1 on Bellew. Remember, Haye was 6-1, 7-1 on with some bookmakers before it started. You never know in boxing, especially in this division.
Absolutely. The tricky world of boxing, random injuries like this, that's the problem with the aging.
David Hey can't even set his feet to throw a punch. That's the problem he's got here.
Carl, he
He's
can't
not
win
really even got a puncher's chance with this.
He can't even win a round like this.
He's got no ground, he's got no base, there's nothing on these shots. Is Toní Bellew exhausted? I don't know what. We're not to draw from what I'm seeing. Toní Bellew here has got almost a sitting duck in his side.
Left hand from Haye and a right hand. And now he tries to go for it.
And you see how Haye bit down on the mouthpiece after he missed that hook. He's in pain.
He's been stopped once before against Carl Thompson, the only other defeat in the reign of Hamburg against Vladimir Klitschko. Bellew has been stopped by Adonis Stevenson, but he is in the form.
He's shortening his shots now, Bellew.
Victory should be his, Toní Bellew, but still we wait.
David Hey also exhausted from the onslaughts in the last couple of rounds. A physical wreck, unfortunately for David Hey. He is really seriously incapacitated.
And also, Carl, when you know you're working with an injury, mentally you exhaust yourself as well. And that can make you even more physically exhausted.
He's got no solid base, he's got no foundations for what he needs to do. still managing to make a fight of this somehow.
Tons of heart here from David Hey.
Toní Bellew has to be careful there, because if he does get clipped, he did not hurt in the last round.
Enormous heart from Haye. Bellew trying to find the punches. Dave Coleman was asking for speed. Shane McGuigan will just be hoping somehow Bellew punches himself out. And Haye can land a couple. His hands are down.
Here's why Bellew won't punch himself out, because anytime he needs a rest, he can step back and Haye can't come get it. So he can take a break anytime he needs it and then get back in.
Yes. He is unbelievably in the driving seat here, Toní Bellew, but he's punched himself out, but he's feeling that heavier weight. He's struggling carrying that extra weight around. He's not a heavyweight, he knows that. But he's come in quite heavy here, and that's what slowed him down. He's emptied the gas tank himself. He'll be having a breather now, and there'll be another onslaught from Toní Bellew.
And he'll get that breather.
I think he'll get that stoppage.
And he'll get that
I can't see
breather.
Haye hurting him. He just can't put anything together, David Hey.
Exactly, that's why he'll get that breather, because Haye can't even keep chasing and make it work.
An extraordinary turn of events. Here's Shane McGuigan.
Do you understand that? All right? And just upset him. And then when you come back, just come back with little flicks. All right? If he throws more than 3 punches, then no more than if you get...
There's an exchange here from the last round. Haye started the round very alive, wanting to impose some kind of physicality on them.
We heard about the Achilles tendon problem, thought it was a rumor, and now it's looking like David Hay's ankle is what the problem is.
He flew to Munich, didn't he, earlier in the week? But he said it was all absolutely fine, at 100%.
Is that what it looks like when your Achilles tendon ruptures? Because he's flat-footed, he's really hobbling around on that right leg.
I forgot about that. You see, I was worried. I was thinking about my own fight. I forgot that I'd heard that he went to Germany for that injury.
Well, everybody thought it was another wind-up, you know, part of the mind games.
Here's the natural adrenaline kicking in, and that pain is he getting used to that ankle now. Still on his back foot.
Remember what Toní Bellew said as he's 2 rounds up on Carl's card. 75-77, and again on Paulie's as well. I mean, it's Bellew's fight to lose, but he said that David Hey would quit. And the one thing he's shown in the last couple of rounds, more than anything, is extraordinary courage.
He's anything but a quitter.
Anything but quit. Fighting for his future, fighting for pride, both of them.
How many guys would have called it quit at this point with this injury?
Right hand from Bellew, and body shots, and Haye in trouble on the ropes again, unable to set himself. You see how wide the right leg is.
He landed a couple of shots early on in this round and didn't really have much effect on Toní Bellew. I'm not sure David Hey can set up enough to hurt Toní, so Toní really is looking at a sitting duck here, and it's just a matter of time. When he fills the tank, gets some oxygen around the blood and around the skeletal muscle, he'll then have an onslaught, which I'm sure will finish David Hey off, who really is incapacitated. I mean, he just can't do much, can he? It's amazing that he's still on his feet, still trying. Swinging in here with big digs, missing wildly. Toní Bellew has seen him coming up. Doesn't really want to be on the back of this.
Good job from David Hey, and he's trying to outstrength Toní Bellew on the inside as well, incredibly, when they get close.
And Bellew maintaining his alertness to Hay's power shots. He takes some jabs, but he's alert to the power shots, making sure not to take those cleanly.
Good defense from Haye on his back foot there.
Good defense from Haye, but Bellew's starting to shorten the shots a little bit. So when David Hey first got hurt, he was winding up with haymakers.
Left and right from Haye. Bellew still hasn't ever been really hurt. And now he can't get the balance, the leverage, the power, Haye, as Bellew tries to walk him back to his own corner.
Not much on Toní Bellew's punches here. This is really fascinating stuff. I'm expecting Toní Bellew to put together a 5-tick punch combination and get this fight ended. But it's not happening because Toní Bellew is not throwing the punches.
Well, Hay's still showing him he's at least alive. When you get in his punching range, he will show you he'll throw a shot.
Right hand from Haye, and again. Bellew's hurt, that was low. Time out, and now Toní Bellew is just going to have a cooling off period. It hasn't been nasty at all, has it, until this point?
Yeah, even that low blow might have been an accident.
Yeah. No, the referee's had nothing to do, really. It's been very fair. Tony could have a little breather here if he fancies one. He's not taking it.
Oh, headbutt. Is that a headbutt?
Bellew trying to come back with something of his own. Haye survives again. Still standing just about. And there's respect. There is respect between these two after all the hoopla.
It's good. Now listen to me. You're always talking about it.
Yeah, that was a low blow right there. I like the right hands that Haye's throwing them.
Good combination before the low blow.
Yeah, I like those right hands. Keep them sharp, but you see David's lead foot, this left foot. When he throws the right hand, he can't transfer the weight from the back foot to the front foot. So you can't get the leverage he wants on the right hands anyway, right, Carl?
That's right. He can't set his feet high enough to get them punches flowing like he should be able to. And if he could, Toní Bellew now, because he's feeling the pace, it'd be very dangerous for him. But, you know, they're both very, very tired. But that injury to the ankle, it is the ankle, because we'll see here the taping on the ankle. So confirmation here that the right, probably Achilles tendon, has probably totally ruptured and gone. And David Haye really doing well to even walk.
So you know what? He was ridiculed for the little toe after the Klitschko fight. Absolutely ridiculed, maybe unfairly so, the way he said it. But you know what? If he snapped his Achilles and he's still in there with Toní Bellew, you've got to give him all the respect.
And it's only going to get worse. I mean, I wonder if you can. What are they doing?
I'm not sure what the referee's doing here, making him take a bit of loose tape from the shin area of David's leg. He was flapping around a bit. He wasn't happy with it. Fair enough.
The thing about it is it may be tearing even worse if it's torn. The way he's...
Good left hook from David Haye. Toní Bellew needs to be careful because he's got this fight in the bag, really. He couldn't have such a gift horse any more than this.
Well, Bellew's starting to go for it now, more than he was in the last couple of rounds. Into the 10th. Can you believe that?
I can't believe it, no. David's still dangerous here on his back foot.
Toní Bellew's got to start cutting the ring off, though. I mean, if he wants to take away whatever motion David Haye has left. David's going to take that break from the low blow. You see, David circles the ring. Toní Bellew would probably be better served to just cut the ring off as well instead of following David around.
Eddie Hearn on his feet saying, the tape's wrong, you can't do that.
I think you can. I mean,
big shots from Haye, right hand, left hook. Toní Bellew needs to be careful here because he's not busy enough. He's not doing enough to convince the judges that he wants this. He needs to just throw a few more punches, especially when he's got David Haye on a sitting target.
Right hand for Bellew.
The problem, Carl, is David can't throw enough punches to win the round himself.
No, the only way he can win is a lucky couple of shots, surely.
Yeah. He can't find the range. Tony has to give him the range. And again, Tony's following him around. If Tony cuts the ring off, he's going to force David to fight even more than he wants to. Tony really put him into problems.
Yeah, he needs to cut the ring off.
Oh, left hand from David Haye. And that got through the gap of Toní Bellew's defense.
Toní Bellew just needs to get behind the jab, double the jab on, and not worry about loading up the big power shots because I don't think he's got it in the tank. Just win the rounds now on his back foot, make it look easy. He's taking risks.
Good right hand for Bellew, and again, still Haye tries to set himself, get the jab going, and lands.
But again, you see how Haye's able to escape. If you don't give him that escape route and you cut him off, he's going to have even less options.
Body shots from Bellew. Getting rough and tough in there. I'll tell you what, despite the Achilles, the condition that the pair of them are in, it's hats off to the training camps.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, this is dealing with an injury. You're fatiguing even more. He's putting all the weight. He has to put all the weight on one leg.
Oh, Bellew offers the hand. Haye wheels in, tries to get some sort of balance in those big legs, David Haye.
I tell you, Bellew is alert to every power shot that Haye throws. Even that one, when he tried to catch him off by surprise.
Yeah. But he's still keeping himself together, isn't he, Toní Bellew? Lefts and rights.
We're able to be very consistent.
He's putting a couple of shots together. He's obviously very exhausted. This is an unusual circumstance to be in as a fighter. He probably can't believe himself what's going on.
Oh, another good jab from David Haye.
Great jab from Haye. Bellew's been busy this round now and landed more punches and put David on his back foot. So he's put this round in the bank. And if this continues, then he'll be winning this fight.
He's been able to consistently land more right hands.
Well, Anthony Joshua right behind us, clapping at what a fight it is. Andy, over to you.
Anthony, your analysis of what you're watching so far? Well, he's got heart, he's got determination, and that is going to the blue corner. The red corner, we were talking about what's he going to do, and that's Toní Bellew. He is slugging it out now. Earlier on, he was patient, he took his time, and I was saying that is that a dangerous thing, and it's paying off right now. But all I'm saying, I want Bellew to keep his right hand a bit higher, because David Hey is hurt his back foot. So he can't generate power from the right hand, but he can still generate power from the left foot, which is the left hook. So he needs to make sure, even when he's attacking, he's still defensively sound with that right hand up, because David Hey is still powerful within his left and punch. But I'm enjoying this. Utmost respect for David Hey for staying in there, making it a dogfight, and utmost respect for Bellew. Terrific analysis.
They're taking the tape off. That's what Eddie Hearn was complaining about.
I don't understand that. I mean, so many times you take your ankle if your ankle's twisted, or you take the laces if they keep coming off.
Well, into the 11th we go. We've seen the struggle with David Hey for several rounds now because of the Achilles. Real unbelievable heart, as Anthony Joshua was saying, for him to keep going through this. Are we looking, whatever happens here, at a real crisis for David Hey, whatever he does next? Can he come back from this injury again after the shoulder?
Well, I think this injury is going to need surgical intervention. And you know yourself, when you start opening up the human body, it takes time to heal, and that time he's not got on his side.
Yeah, his age
so
too.
This could well be the end of David Hey. But what we're seeing here.
It's one of those losses.
Oh, right and left. But maybe the end physically, he might still win the fight somehow.
He's still got a chance, and with that right hand he just landed there, Toní Bellew is taking absolutely ridiculous, unnecessary risks.
But Haye is running out of time because the rounds have been going to Toní Bellew.
All Tony needs to do is get his gloves up and jab.
Yeah, he just keeps it basic with these ones and 1-2s.
He'll see the big shots coming because Haye cannot set them up. Toní Bellew definitely feeling that extra weight, which we said earlier, because that's the only reason he could be exhausted. I mean, he had a big round when Hayes actually won.
Lunges with that left hook. So distressed and annoyed with himself.
Really struggling here.
And that's from not being able to transfer the weight over to the other foot. So you just go down.
But on he battles. People wondered whether they were going to get value for money with this. It would all be over in seconds. A complete mismatch. Even before the injury, it wasn't.
No, showing unbelievable courage here. David Hey with the injury. Tony's done enough to win, but he's taking silly shots. I mean, that right hand, there's not much on it now. David Hey, really, there's no power on them punches. This is where Tony needs him.
Oh, Belly's got
full shots.
And down goes Haye, and physically, can he even get back through the ropes? The count is at 9, and the towel's gone in, and Toní Bellew causes a seismic shock in world boxing as he rips up the script and ends the war of words, and there is the respect, and everyone should applaud that. David Hey was valiant until the end. The warrior in him wouldn't make him quit, but Toní Bellew kept his cool, and I'll tell you what, he has won a fight that virtually nobody picked him to win. One of the biggest upsets in British boxing in recent times.
The odds were so heavily stacked against Toní Bellew. Nobody really saw that coming. We thought if he stood the early onslaught, it'd be okay. That wasn't the case. He got hit, it was okay. And then the injury, but to see them embrace there, Toní Bellew didn't celebrate when he won. He's crying now, he's emotional, but he didn't celebrate. So much respect there. Such a real proud man there, both of them. But Toní Bellew there, showing me the kind of proud man he is. They're embracing David Hey. He knows he's injured. He knows really, towards the end, Haye couldn't fight back. And that was a really nice scene there when they embraced.
Especially after all the bad blood, that was good to see.
Really good to see. So much to talk about. Enormous unpredictability from the only Bellew. There's Derek Chisora, who sparred with Toní Bellew. They're big mates, and they're so happy. James DeGale here, a great friend. You know what? So many people wanted Toní Bellew to win this, but they didn't believe he would.
Yeah. This is not just one of the biggest upsets in British boxing. This is one of the biggest upsets in world boxing in general, because these are two world-level fighters.
And David Hey, sorry, Toní Bellew called it. The main reason he said he'd beat David Hey is because he said David Hey is too old.
We get married July next year now, buddy.
He's getting married in July. His 3 beautiful children. He is a new massive star of British boxing, Toní Bellew. Can you believe it? He was in the Rocky films. He won his world title at his beloved Goodison Park. And now, one of the biggest upsets ever. It's extraordinary, and he deserves every bit of it.
He does deserve every bit of it. And he called this as well. He called it. He said David Hey will be too old. Amazing scenes there.
But you know what? David Hey takes a great deal out of this too, in terms of how we should all respect him. He had the jokes about the toe, he had his time out, he had shoulder surgery, and although he promised a demolition job which he couldn't deliver, he stuck this out.
He fought half the fight with the injury. I think that was half the fight. When did they stop? At the 11th? When did he get hurt? In the 5th? I mean, this is half the fight. He fought like this.
I mean, we gave you your props when you fought Miguel Cotto with the state you were in.
But this, you got no balance. You can't fight. At least with a facial injury, you still have your weapons. You know, without your feet, you don't have your weapons to set the punch.
This is the finishing scenes. Unfortunate scenes here for David Hey. He caught a right hand there and a left hook on their head. As his legs collapsed from under him, and
he's still trying to come back in the ring and get up. They had to throw a towel in. He was going to come back in again.
Against Cole Thompson, he didn't quit. He was throwing back. Cole Thompson had him out on his feet, and he was still throwing punches. Let's not forget that. He's always had heart, David Hey.
Massive heart, massive respect, but a huge win for Team Bellew. Dave Colwell, who was ridiculed in the build-up, and he's had a tough time with Gavin McDonald's loss, David Price's loss.
This is great to see.
But now, look at these pictures in the ring. David Hey and Toní Bellew with masses of respect, arm in arm. The towel goes in. The emotion from the pair of them, one of the nicest duos in boxing. Little Dave and Big Tony, and they have the big upset win. Can you believe it? Heavyweight boxing continues to be unpredictable and so thrilling.
Ladies and gentlemen, following a brilliant display of courage by David Hey, his corner indicates to the referee he's unable to continue. Referee Phil Edwards calls a halt to the contest at 2 minutes, 16 seconds, round 11. The winner by TKO victory, the fighting pride of Liverpool, Toní Bellew.
The wonderful spirit between the two. This is the sport we love, and it's all the good sides. Fabulous to see.
Well, they couldn't have anything but respect for each other, because Toní Bellew took the early onslaught from David Hey. He didn't get really assaulted early on like we thought he would, but he took his shots, Toní Bellew, who withstood the power of David Hey, and then he fought back with that Achilles tendon problem, which is what we think it is, that debilitated injury. He still fought on and on. So Toní Bellew has to respect him for that.
They're going to do it together. Wonderful. Andy.
Arm in arm. Congratulations, Tony. Incredible, unbelievable roller coaster fight. Talk us through it.
First of all, I just want to thank all you people in here and all the people watching on TV. Because all you people watching and in here made it possible for me. Do you know, tonight, I've sent my kids away to Dubai now, and I know she's watching somewhere, babe. We get married next July. And you know what? All is that matter tonight, I've just secured my kids' future, man. I don't give a shit about winning. I don't care. I secured their lives. I'm sorry for swearing. I secured the kids, man. And David, I thank you from the bottom of my heart because really, I'll be honest, he could have picked an awful lot of different guys, and he picked me. We spoke before it, we didn't speak a word for the last 16 weeks, and I'm telling you, it was genuine, people. I wanted to really beat him more than anything in this world, and he wanted to beat me, and I think we showed that tonight. I've got so much respect for David as a fighter. He's a brilliant fighter, and he will come again, and we can do it again. Who wants to see it again?
David, the Warrior's heart, commiserations. What went wrong?
Tony was a great fighter. That's what went wrong. I trained great. I felt good coming into the fight. I wanted to do a demolition job, but this guy has got a heart of a lion. I've knocked out people a lot bigger, a lot stronger, with a lot less. This guy, I did not expect him to have the chin and durability that he had. You know, I gave it my best shot. My best wasn't good enough tonight, and I have to take my hat off to Toní Bellew. He, by far, was a better fighter tonight, no doubt about it. You know, in my mind, I believe I'm more gifted and whatnot, but he had a bigger heart tonight.
He is.
He had bigger balls tonight. You had a bigger heart. You dug deep. You took my best shots, and you got back up, and you put me down. And no, I'd love to do it again. The fans loved it. I loved it. I've never been in a fight like that before. And you know, if the fans want to see it again, I'd love to do it again in Manchester or wherever he wants to do it, in Liverpool. You know, wherever he wants it. He's the man. He beat me first.
Wants to go back to Goodison Park.
He's the man. He beat me fair and square. He's the man now. If I want to get my stripes back, I have to go back for it. I can't think about world honours now. I have to go past this guy if I want to think about fighting for the world titles. So all credit to Toní Bellew. He beat me fair and square. And if he would oblige again, I'd love it. If he wants to go past, you know, I'm at his mercy. There's no rematch clause in his contract. It's in his ball. If the fans liked it and want it again, you know, we can make it happen.
He was everything I expected. Do you know what I prepared for tonight? The biggest puncher in the heavyweight division, the most dangerous man alive. When he hit me, I thought, Jesus Christ. I knew it wasn't going to last, but I was thinking, I can't take much more of these. On the head, round the body. He hits extremely hard. But you know what? I've said this from day one. You can have all the ability and talent in the world, but when you've got a heart as big as I am, and you cannot give in, I will not stop. I will not stop. I am the champion of the misfits, and tonight I have taken my glory!
Tony, do you want a rematch?
We're going to sit down, we're going to talk today, because I'm going to be honest, I said he was a diva, it was all in the blood, but you know what? I think I might turn into something like that now. Listen, the salt and pepper's on my side of the table now, Andy. We've got to come and play with me. I'm the man in demand. I'm the most valuable heavyweight in the world outside of the champions. I said this before. And listen, yo, Ant, I admire Anthony Joshua so much. I ain't calling no names. You know what? That brother's taking this game to a new level. And Ant, I got so much respect for you more than ever, brother. I really have. Me and Ant got talking before Ant turned pro. I was sparring Carl in Sheffield. And we exchanged words, man. I gave him advice. He took it. And the man's running the game now. So before you guys start saying, fight the winner of Joshua Klitschko, I think I've got to sit down, evaluate the options, go home and kiss me lovely wife and kids, and then talk to Eddie on Monday.
David, it was a real good fight to watch.
Oh, thank you, man. That was the best fight. That was the best fight I've ever had. You know, it felt like a Rocky film in there. You know, this guy showed balls bigger than I've ever fought before. I hit him on the best shots. He got back up. He dished it out. He won the fight fair and square. Credit to him. If he would oblige me a rematch, I'd love that.
Did I go down tonight? I don't know.
Right, you did one time, but then you put me down.
You know what?
I know it was a good shot.
I don't think there was a round in a Rocky movie like round 6. Can you tell us what happened?
It's what it is. He beat me fair and square. He beat me fair and square. No excuses. I gave him my best. He took it. He dished it back to me. I couldn't take it. I'd love the opportunity to do it again. If he would oblige, I'd go to his hometown and fight him wherever he wants. He's the man. He beat me fair and square. If the fans want to see that type of up and down fight again, I'd love to give it to him. That's why I'm in boxing, for the biggest fights. And if Toní Bellew would oblige me, we'll do it on his terms, in his turf, in his favour. He deserves it. He beat me fair and square.
Now, Johnny.
You know,
Tony,
I enjoyed it.
What is it about your character that in a fight that very few people thought you had a chance in,
No more tears to cry.
nobody thought you could win,
Yeah,
to
no
pull it
one
out of
thinks
the
I can
bag?
win. Do you know what it is, man? I tell you this time all the time, I'm scared. When I come in this ring, tonight, I would be honest, I was scared for the first time in my life. For me, health more than anything. But you know, when I walk to the ring, I've got a switch, man, and when the switch flips, I scare myself because I can't give in. I cannot give in. And he hit me tonight hard, man. Harder than I've ever been hit in my life. And I wish I could just say, you know what, that's enough, but I can't. I can't give in, man. I'm a Scouser, and Scousers, you just can't give in. And I don't know, and I can't back down, I can't give in. And that's the scary thing. I don't want to keep doing this, I'm going to be honest. I don't want to keep doing it because it's a hard sport, man. All I want to do is raise them kids and be healthy enough to see them get old, man. So my missus was scared. Last day, before she left for Dubai on Sunday, she was crying on the Saturday night, and he said he's going to put me in hospital. And I said, love, listen, they all say that. And he's not gone, he trusts me, I can't go. And she cried, she got on the plane Sunday morning, and I promised that I wouldn't go. And against all the odds, man, I've done it again. I can't thank you all enough, thank you so much. I have no more tears, I have no more hits, thank you so much.
The two of you really did back up your words, well done.
Apologies for any of the language there. Emotions clearly running high tonight. What an extraordinary night it has been here at the O2 Arena. Do not go anywhere. Stay with us for all of the fallout coming straight after the break.